Alright, this is the first time I'm doing the interview process. I've never done interviews on the server before. And since you're so big now, especially admin and above, you definitely need some sort of interview. It's going to be more of a conversation than an interview. Well, I'll ask you questions, and I just want to see what your thought process is. There's no right or wrong answer to these questions, but obviously it's not just my decision, like all the other admins. You'll also decide if you'll get a position. But let's get started. How long have you been on the server for? I think since season 4, so that's 2 years, 2.5 years. So have you played every single season after that? Probably, you know what season it is right now? 25, I think. I probably played 10 of those seasons. I played fully 10 seasons, but I also played all the others, just not fully. That's actually like a really good requirement for admin 10 seasons or more. It is a position where you have a lot of power, so that gives you a good start. So, vision as a server is you're not a pay-to-win server. You'll have anything with money involved on the server. So when you have a shop or store, you can't really buy anything in-game. Question is, how could you keep the SMP fun without it being pay-to-win? What could we do that helps us be the best server we can be without having anything with money on the server? I think if we had multiple servers, I would suggest a different type of mini games, but I also think it'd be fun if you had one sweaty server and not for us would chill what the server was meant to be. So you think we could have multiple servers that diversify it? Would you say it would be rather more worth it if we focus on just SMP, try to improve it, or should we have multiple game modes? People always have an option to play. I think we should mainly double down because the season, even though it was very laggy, a lot of people still played it. Shows that people are committed to the servers. I think getting mini games would take away some of the value of the server. So you think we should just focus on SMP? Yeah, that's good. These questions that I'm about to ask are going to be more about you and the community of the server. What would you say your reputation is amongst the community? It kind of changes between season. I say I have a fairly good reputation because I played for a while. So, what do you say your reputation is good enough to be an admin? People wouldn't have problems with you being an admin. You beef the players on the server that even if you are doing the right thing, they would constantly bother you. In the past I had stuff like that, but it's disintegrated. And I think when I did have admin those 3 seasons, no one really complained too much. I helped it, but Phantom was backing it. Everyone improved it. That is true. On the topic of hacks, what hacks would you say the anti-cheat does bad at Reach? Does Reach hack? I've noticed it because when we were testing out the fan Reach hacks a few seasons ago, you won't be using Reach hacks and it wouldn't fly till about 10 hits. I do agree, Reach hacks, but if there's a hack that you would say gets commonly mistaken, well, it's not really a hack, but it gets commonly mistaken as a hack. Some mechanism thing. A lot of people say entity. Many matter. A lot of Bedrock say that particularly. I guess maybe base finding. Actually, ESP, it's a lot of people use ESP as a way to report someone for finding their base. Or a lot of people steadily use storage hacks, base dash finder. I don't think if you want to patch key, how that hacks are easier to detect. Because we're an SMP, so those are a lot more disastrous. This is a question more about the community and you again. What does the community like about you? And what does the community dislike about you? I think they like that I'm pretty active. I'm usually helpful in that I can usually solve most of those problems. Well, I guess very harsh. Very set that up. You made a lying machine. I just took it. You made a lying machine and banned it. In my point, if he wants to say you made a lying machine, he'll face some punishment. It doesn't matter if you don't or not. That's irrelevant. Give an example of a time where it would be okay to temp ban a player, where you think it's not something that crazy that's a season ban bomb kill or bed trapping. How familiar are you with the plugins we use? Luck Burns, Essentials, Core Protect? To be honest, I'm not very familiar. I know all the creative commands. So would you be willing to learn those plugins? I could learn them. Are you trying to apply for both Discord and Minecraft admin? I'm really just applying for the admin I had before. So it would be Discord and Minecraft. So moderation-wise, their server currently lacks, and that you would be the one to implement it. I feel like our mods are they don't really know what they're doing. Do you think we need a training process? Yeah, I think we should teach them some things. All new mods decline. Because I remember last year, they were all good mods, but they all knew what they're doing. making this type of handbook. Mouth to follow. Actually, I was starting to make it, and then I got the admin that you stopped. So, about discipline moderation, what would you do if someone breaks a rule in voice chat, but you weren't there? People claim that they broke that rule. There's no evidence. I'd probably pound them out unless they can definitely prove. And also attempt up using the voice chat. I feel like if it's such random people that all say it, I feel like that's not likely, but if they're all on the same team, they could just be rage baiting. So, out of all the skills, what is a skill that you think you're the most experienced with and that would really help the server? I usually deal with all the giant dramas on the server. That specialists to deal with. That was why I'm in the first place. I was able to solve the fan drama. Right, if someone could specialize in that, that wouldn't really help. The point of this is to have the least possible drama. This is more for long-term purposes. You're revamping it, so a lot of the things and structures we have will be standardized. This is a more situation-based question. Let's say your hacker confessed they are using hacks, and you promise they'll never use it again. How would you handle that as the first offense? I would say yes, it would be the first offense. Not if you confess deceiving ban. Correct. I agree with that. If you hack, you don't get to play a season. If you hack again, the next season it's 2 seasons, and then after that it's perma. I like that approach. Right, same situation, but you had a mod, you caught them hack, and they begged you to not tell any other admins. How would you handle the situation? I would probably demod them. I would put them on trial mod and then season them. Would you tell anybody about it? Or depending on how many because I could just trial mod them myself. And then if someone asks, like, give another reason. I would want to protect him, but also help the server. A few more questions. What's your main reason to be an admin? You're currently a senior mod. Someone asks for help. I can just do it myself. So what kind of help are you talking about? Rerolls, investigating someone maybe makes sense. Sometimes spectating people, no bad reports them hacking. That's good. Do you think do senior mods lack permissions that they feel like they should have? I think senior mods should have more Discord perms. I think it's 10 perms in the mods. So, perms such as great ghettos. What about Minecraft perms? Think rollbacks should be a feature for senior mods. I think maybe that's a little much because you could do by them direct. This is also more situation based. Let's say the admins will come out with a new update, right? And you personally know the community doesn't like it. How would you deal with that situation? I'll try and talk to the players and figure out what they want. Or you can change not revamp the entire update, 50-50 compromise, keep updates from the update, but also add some things the players want. So you'd be like that communicator between the players and the dev team. I'll try to, ease tensions, because I do play the server after all, so. What features in the server do you think would be good to have? I think efficiently is the biggest thing. That will make the server so much better. Right, now next season we are switching to a better host. That should really help. I think for slash teams, you should be able to see who your teammates are. Because this season I took around my 2 weeks here, right? And I had one of the same trim, so I didn't know who my teammate was half the time. So I'm gonna do a highlight around the players who are on your teams. On a combat. Makes sense, but it's a good idea. And only you could see it. What would you say we do well versus not do well when it comes to drama? Like if it ends up happening, you always get asked, I remains you asking for a ruling, and we never usually respond to drama. I did quit responding, which is a problem on my end. And I just feel I should have people that are in charges. If you have a problem, talk to them, not to you, because you don't want to get spammed with things, obviously. And I just understand sometimes admins also have problems within themselves, but if the majority of the admin team does ruling, I think that should be the final. I do agree with that, and I think as we grow bigger, we should change structure. I think that a lot of the issues should resolve in the ticket system. Well, it's a very good idea, and it definitely has helped. A couple months ago, it was a lot of drama. It was crazy. Now it's barely anything. The ticket system you resolve it within tickets, so you have to maintain that privacy. Yeah, I agree. I have asked a lot of questions, but it's also your right to ask me. So, is there any questions that you have for us? If you're trying to make a wiki for the server, because we have a lot of new players, but they don't know how the server works. So the question here is, if there was a new player on the server, what was the first thing you would do? I feel like you're directing to the Discord. Say, but also try and help them. And obviously, I think you can expand upon your admin book. you give every season to all the new players? Right. I think I thought about updated. It is, and I agree. Obviously, our goal is to retain. There's why. Is there something we don't do that well to help retain them? Well, I think a lot of reasons the players need is the server themselves. There's not really a fix to it that can make it, because like, you just get killed by people, they get killed by veterans. There's a lot of it. These players they join and when they leave spawn, obviously their spawn prot and death any problem that happens if they hit them, because they don't know what they're doing and then they get killed. So they don't understand how the protection system works. So if they were better educated, they wouldn't hit players with maxed out gear, so they wouldn't die. But they're not got motivation to like click. Before they join the server, they should have a tutorial. They go to or just join the server, have a better guidebook for them to take a look at. I think a tutorial will be helpful. The idea is feasible. About Discord, do you think any roles that we should add? I don't really think so. There's all the necessary roles are there. Discord is as good as it can be. There's no improvements on the way our server is, on Discord-wise. I feel like we should waste energy on Discord and focus more on the mic. So Discord is like that, just communication platform. Minecraft is where you actually... Alright, I think us interview went pretty well. So, obviously the decision is not mine. It'd be admins, the devs, and the owners. And so if you get majority of the vote, although it would be different for Discord and Minecraft. But if you do get the majority, you should have admin rank. I'm gonna ask you a couple of questions because I already know this about you. But I'd be like, what's your time zone? What's your age? How many hours do you play? How many hours do you dedicate to the server? I do know how much time you spend. If you end fights, you have been like that one to actually make sure the fight ends. I really do appreciate that. We could end it here, or if you have any other questions, always you can ask me right now. I can always text you.